You know, there's a rite of passage that every college student must endure. And it's not the all-nighter before finals, or the awkward roommate situation. No, it's the first time you step into the financial aid office. I remember the day vividly. I walked in, heart pounding, clutching my paperwork like it was a life raft in a sea of confusion. I had no idea what to expect, but I was pretty sure it involved a lot of waiting, a few tears, and possibly a small sacrifice to the financial aid gods. The first thing that hit me was the atmosphere. It was like a DMV, but with more anxiety and fewer chairs. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, casting a sickly glow on the sea of students who looked just as lost as I felt. I mean, you could practically smell the desperation in the air. I took a deep breath, trying to channel my inner adult, and approached the front desk, where a woman sat with a smile that could only be described as tired but trying. "Hi, how can I help you?" she chirped, and I thought, wow, she must really love her job. But then I noticed her eyes. They were glazed over, like she had seen too many students come and go, each one clutching their dreams of financial freedom, only to be crushed by the weight of paperwork and bureaucracy. I stammered out my question, something about my FAFSA and how I was supposed to get my grants and loans. She nodded, but I could tell she was already mentally checking out. "Have you filled out the forms?" she asked, and I felt a wave of panic. Forms? I thought I was just supposed to show up and magically receive money. Apparently, I had missed the memo on the form-filling part of the process. Yes?" I lied, because who doesn't want to sound like they have their life together? She handed me a stack of papers that looked like it could rival the length of War and Peace. "Here's what you need to do," she said, and I swear I saw her mouth moving, but all I could hear was the sound of my own heartbeat and the distant echo of my bank account crying. I took the forms and retreated to a corner, trying to decipher the hieroglyphics that were supposed to represent my financial future. I mean, why did they need to know my parents' income from 1997? I could barely remember what I had for breakfast, let alone my parents' financial history from the last millennium. I felt like I was on an episode of a game show called Guess Your Parents' Income, and the prize was a lifetime of student debt. After what felt like an eternity of scribbling, erasing, and second-guessing myself, I finally made my way back to the desk. "I think I filled everything out," I said, my voice wavering like a contestant on the edge of elimination. The woman took my forms, scanned them with the intensity of a hawk, and then sighed. "You're missing a few things," she said, and I could feel my heart sink. Of course I am, I thought. Why would this be easy? She handed me a new list of things to gather, and I felt like I was being sent on a scavenger hunt for my own financial security. "You'll need your tax returns, proof of residency, and a signed letter from your great-aunt's neighbor's dog walker," she said, and I couldn't help but laugh. I left the office feeling like I had just survived a battle, but the war was far from over. I had learned a valuable lesson that day. Navigating the financial aid office is like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded while riding a unicycle. It's confusing, frustrating, and at times, downright hilarious. But hey, if I can survive that, I can survive anything college throws my way.